Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SELENIUM Tech Automation. In this today tutorial, I'm going to discuss about XPath for XML. Okay, so why we need to use XPaths for XML. Okay, for example, there is a scenario like so whenever as an automation tester we are going to automate some application, right? So during automating the application, so you got some XML on your UI part. Okay, you got some XML along with the values. Okay, so those values I want to compare, means actual and expected. Okay, so this actual text is coming from the XML and expected text I'm going to store inside our .xlsx file or text file or word file, okay, or CSV file. Okay, so I am going to store all my expected values for the particular XPath from XML in our all these files like .xlsx file or CSV file or word file or text file. Okay, so these values I'm going to compare with my actual text which is coming from the UI part in the form of XML along with the values. Okay, so first what I need to do, I want to parse. Okay, I want to parse that XML into XPath, right? So to get the values present inside that XML. Okay, so for that, so first today tutorial I'm going to explore about what is the XPath and how many types of XPaths we can use for the XML, and also I will show you the sample XML format as well. Okay, before continuing this tutorial, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and also don't forget to share this video to your friends so that they will also learn something from our video, and also your share will helps a lot to recommend this video for more people. Okay, let's get started our tutorial, that is XPath for XML. Okay, that is XPath for XML. Okay, here you can see what is an XPath actually. XPath is a query language for traversing through the XML documents, right? XPath is a query language for traversing through XML docs. So here XML docs means so where we can have several attributes and also values and also root elements and also children elements and siblings, ancestors, descendants. Okay, so in an XML file we will have all these nodes and child tags and siblings, ascendants and descendants. Okay, by using of all these nodes and tags, so we are going to get the values for that particular tags, right? So that is about for that reason we are going to use an XPath here, that is a query language for traversing through the XML documents. Okay, so here also in XPath we can have two different types of XPath expressions. The first one here is absolute XPath expression and the second one here is relative XPath expressions. Okay, so we will see one by one what is absolute XPath expression and what is relative XPath expression. Okay, and also XPath with HTML means XPath with HTML, as HTML structure looks like similar to the XML. Okay, I will show you that one also. So because HTML structure also will looks like the same as XML format only, so for that also we are going to use our XPath. Okay, for HTML files also we are going to use XPath. I will show you about this one later in this video. First we will discuss what is XPath and what are all the different nodes we can have inside this XML. Okay, before that, first what is XPath? XPath is a major element in the XSLT standard. Okay, XPath is the major element. Okay, XPath is a major element and this XPath can be used to navigate through elements and attributes in an XML document. Okay, I will show you that XML document. So inside that XML document we can have different kind of elements along with the attributes and values. Okay, so here XPath uses path like syntax to identify and navigate nodes in an XML document. For example, if I want to get a value from that particular XML document, so I have to use some XPath syntax. Okay, with the help of this XPath syntax I am going to retrieve my value which is present inside the XML document. Okay, to use these expressions, XPath expressions, we can use inside any one of the languages like JavaScript language or Java language or PHP, C# language. We can have multiple languages. Okay, so on all these languages we can use our XPath expressions. Okay, first of all we can see what is an XPath node. Okay, what is a node here? I will show you with XML document as well. So here in XPath there are 7 kinds of nodes. The first one is element, attribute, text, namespace, processing instruction, comment and document nodes. Okay, so these are all the nodes which are present inside the XPath. Okay, so after that, XML documents are treated as trees of nodes. Okay, XML documents are treated as the trees of nodes. So here the topmost element of the tree is called as the root element. Okay, I will show you some small piece of XML code here in our next slide. Okay, the XML documents are treated as the trees of nodes because XML file contains several kinds of nodes. Okay, for all these nodes there is one root element is present, that is called as root tag. Okay, here you can see this is the example of nodes. So this is our sample XML file here, XML code here. For example, here the catalog. Okay, here the catalog is a root element node of all these remaining nodes. At the same time, this author is the element node. Okay, this author is the element node. So likewise, this here you can see this author is the element node. At the same time, title is the element node. At the same time, genre is the element node. So likewise, in a root element node, we can have n number of element nodes for the particular XML. Okay, so here in this follow example, parent node. Okay, each element and attribute has one parent. Okay, each element and attribute has one parent node. So here the book element is a parent of the author, title, genre, price and publish date and description. Okay, here book id is a parent of this below nodes. These are all the child nodes of parent node book id, whereas root element node, that is catalog, is a root element node for all these nodes. Okay, so that is about parent node. So if you go to the next slide, so now we are going to discuss about the relationships of nodes. Okay, so this is our actual XML file, so where it can have different kind of nodes. So here the book id is the parent node of all these child nodes, that is author, Gambardella Matthew, and for the title XML developers guide, for the genre computer. Okay, for all these title for all these child nodes, the book id is the parent node. Okay, book id is a parent node, and author, title, genre, price, these are all the child nodes of parent node, that is book id. And also author, title and genre, price, publish date, so these are all siblings together. Okay, author, title, genre and price, publish date, description, these are all the siblings. Okay, siblings. And also this title is the child of book id, and this genre is the child of book id, this publish date is child of book id, and this book id is child of the main node or root element, that is called as catalog. And also here ancestor of author elements are. Okay, so these are all the ancestors. Okay, this is the author, below are the ancestors of author. Okay, below title, genre, price, publish date, and all are like siblings and also ancestors. Okay, so in the following example, the book element is the parent element of parent node of author, title, genre, price, right? So now let me go back to our description part. Okay, so this is our sample XML file here. Okay, so now I am going to discuss about what is absolute XPath expression and relative XPath expression. Okay, just now we discussed, right, what is absolute XPath expression and relative XPath expression. So there are two kinds of expressions, so where we can define for an XPath to get some value from the XML. The first one here is absolute XPath expression, and the second one here is relative XPath expression. Okay, so here absolute XPath expression means, so we need to pass the complete path of that particular expression, okay, to get some value from the XML. So to use this absolute XPath expression, we have to follow the full path, mean from root to child. Okay, from root to child we are going to pass the full path of the XPath expression. So what we can do, so to achieve this one, to get all the values, so just let me copy all these XPath expressions present inside the XML. So now what I'm going to do, so to get all this XPath expression information from XML means, so for that I'm going to use one website called as xpather.com. okay, so here I'm going to enter my copied XML file here to generate the XPaths. okay, so here I pasted. So once you've pasted, so if you click on format, it will give you the complete. okay, it won't give any configs. So for that reason we are going to format here. okay, so now what I am going to do here, I am going to retrieve all the elements present inside this XML. okay, so with the help of absolute XPath. So how we can pass absolute XPath means we need to pass the full path. okay, absolute XPath expression, how we can define with the help of full XPath we are going to define, that is called as absolute XPath. okay, so if I want to find any value, so there we are going to query on this XML content using the XPath. okay, if I want to find some value, for example if I want to find this value, so I am going to query. okay, I am going to query on this XML with the help of XPath. okay, for that, starting from the root node, if we are using absolute XPath means that is root tag, right? That is, see here, non-standard output means this time once if you enter this single forward slash, so all your XML got located here. okay, so now all your XML got located here. okay, so the complete XML is getting located. So here, so the next one here is, so I want to get how many books are available in this particular. okay, I want to get this how many books are available. For example, if I mention here catalog. okay, catalog, you can see, so this complete information present inside this root element, that is called as catalog. That's why catalog is a root element node for all these nodes, that is child nodes or ancestors or descendants or siblings. okay, so if I enter that catalog, so it is highlighting all the elements present inside this XML, which means it is querying with the help of absolute XPath. okay, so after that if I mention book, so here you can see it is giving total how many number of books are available, that is giving here elements found 12. With the help of this book node, we have 12 nodes which are available inside this XML file. So here you can see there are total 12 books are giving. okay, so here 110 111, that is 112 means 12 items got found with the book. okay, 12 items got found with the book. For example, I want to get the only child nodes of this particular book ID, that is BK101. okay, I want to get the values for only this book, that is BK101. So how we can mention, so with the help of, okay, with the help of square brackets @id equals to, what is the ID of that one, BK101, right? BK101. See here you can see, if I mention book @id means attribute, sorry, with the help of @id we can get the only content of this book ID equals to BK101. If I want to highlight the content with the book ID, that is called as 102. okay, so this is how we can easily filter out all the nodes. okay, so here you can see this is the attribute node. okay, @id means this is the syntax to define an XPath expression. okay, why we are using means, so with the help of @id, that is attribute, we are going to get the value. So that's why we are going to mention the XPath expression like this. okay, this is the default way to define an XPath expression with the help of absolute XPath expression. okay, with the help of XPath expression. So for example, so I want to get a title. okay, I want to get this title. So how we can mention, okay, I want to get this title. So now with the help of @id we are getting the values for this BKID BK102. so for this book element node I want to get the value for title. So how we can mention, one more forward slash, that is title. You can see here elements got found, one element, that is midnight rain. So if I want to find another child node of this book element means, so I am passing here genre. So here you can see it is giving one, okay, it is giving one element found, that is fantasy. Okay, that is fantasy. If I remove at the rate, it won't give any. See, if I remove at the rate id, it is not showing any elements to be found, right? So because that XPath expression is not the correct one, so that's why we have to pass at the rate id. Okay, this is the XPath expression for absolute XPath. Okay, so now, so here forward, that means we cannot directly jump to the, okay, if we don't pass anything here, okay, if we don't pass anything here, so we cannot directly jump from the title. Okay, for example, so this is the syntax for getting the value of this genre, which is the present for the book element node with the id bk102. So in the same way, I want to get the genre fantasy without passing any, okay, without passing any id. So we will see how we can get that one. Okay, for example, here I am going to get the title, right? So if I pass directly the title, it is telling no elements found, because we are using absolute XPath, right? Because we are using absolute XPath. So if we are using absolute XPath means we have to pass the full XPath expression, okay, like how we did previously, that is this one, okay, at the rate id bk102 title, right, genre or title. Okay, so this is the way we have to follow if we are using absolute XPath expression to get any value from the XML document. Okay, so this is how this absolute XPath expression will work. So next we will see about a relative XPath expression. Okay, so relative XPath expression. So here, what is a relative XPath expression? So relative XPath expression means, so we no need to pass any root element tag here. Okay, we no need to pass any root element tag, and also it is better to follow relative XPath only, because in real time scenarios also, in real time projects also, many of the companies or many of the people are using only relative XPaths. Okay, so we are not going to follow the absolute XPaths in real time. Okay, it is important to use only relative XPath expressions if we are working with XML to get some values. Okay, so here if you want to get if you want to use XPath in XML, we need to use relative XPath only. Okay, so here relative XPath will start from the double slash, right? So here absolute XPath is starting from single slash, whereas relative XPath will start from double slash. Okay, whereas relative XPath will start from double forward slash. Okay, we don't have to mention any starting root tag here, but in absolute XPath we need to mention the root tag. If we are using relative XPath means we no need to mention any root tag. Okay, if I pass here, if I pass directly this book, okay, if I pass directly this book, you can see it is giving the same result, saying that elements got found 12. Okay, here I am not passing any root element tag, so I am just passing forward double slash along with the book. So with this book node we have 12 elements got highlighted. So in the same way, if I use here, the absolute XPath, I am going to mention the root tag as well, but I don't want to mention the root tag if I am using relative XPath. Okay, it is important to use only relative XPaths in real time scenarios, because many projects are working with the help of this relative XPaths only. So now I am going to mention book. So now we are getting total 12 elements got found with the element node of book, that is followed by forward slash double forward slash, that is called as relative XPath. Okay, that is called as relative XPath. So here, so in the same way, I want to get a value of for example genre. So how we can mention? In the same way, for example, at the rate id equals to, what is the id? bk101. Okay, here you can see it is highlighting the only one element node, that is book id equals to bk101. So inside this book id we can have different child nodes are also available. So these are all the values for that one. Okay, so these are all the values for book ID BK101. Okay, so if I want to get the value for published date, how we can follow? In the same way, put one forward slash, that is called as publish date. Okay, publish date. Here you can see it is giving directly the value as 2010-01. Okay, so this is how we can use this one relative XPath. Okay, this is how we can use relative XPath. Okay, I can do one more thing here. So directly, okay, I can do one more thing here. So directly I am mentioning, okay, directly I am mentioning here. So for example, double slash, okay, double slash publish, price I can mention simple way. So here you can see, if I directly mention price here, it is giving all the elements which are highlighting here. Totally 12 elements are highlighting here. If I directly pass this price here, because 12 elements got found for all these book IDs, because books are available 12 books here. Okay, so next what we are doing, so I want to get directly the value about published date. Okay, I want to get directly the value about published date or something. So now I am going to take title, that is XML developers guide. I want to take this value with the help of relative XPath. So how we can do that one? So double forward slash title. Okay, here also you can see total titles are displaying here. There are 12 elements got found. Title. So how we can find? With the help of contains function. The help of contains function we are going to find. Okay, we are going to find. So here you can see the function contains must have at least two arguments. Okay, the contains function contains must have at least two arguments. So how we are going to define? So with the help of text, right? With the help of text. So what we are going to take now? See here. So I want to get the title midnight rain here. So how we can pass? We are going to pass the title here, midnight rain. So here you can see only one element got highlighted. So in the same way, I want to get a description here. Okay, I want to get some description. Let me copy this part. Title, not title. This time I am going to take description. So simply I am deleting this one and I am entering this one. You can see there is only one element found, that is called as contains text. Okay, with the help of this relative XPath, we can easily find the desired XPath value inside the XML. So for example, if I want to find for any other title, creepy crawlies. Okay, creepy crawlies I am going to find this time with the help of relative XPath. Okay, so now how we can do? Just pass the same title here. Okay, description, sorry, this is the title, right? So that's why title. Here you can see it is highlighting the crawlies. Okay, so if we are using relative XPath, means you no need to mention any root element node. You can directly mention two double forward slashes followed by the child node or element node. Okay, so this is how we can get the values from the XML. Okay, so as we discussed, XPath with HTML, as HTML structure looks like similar to the XML. So for example, let me take this one and I'm going to view page source. We don't have here, and let me go to here. Okay, let me go to here and view page source, right? So here you can see this is also looks like similar to the XML file only. Okay, so this HTML file also looking like the same our XML only. So that's why we can use this XPath concept for HTMLs also, because HTML head, this is the child nodes and these are the values. Okay, these are the values. In the same way we can have different kinds of child nodes here. For this element node, that is head. For this and all, it is the parent node, that is HTML tag. Okay, so that is all about XPath for XML. Okay, so what we discussed till now, again let me tell. So we discussed about XPath and how many types of XPaths are there, and HTML also looks like the same as XML file, so that's why we can able to use this XPath concept for HTML as well. Okay, so then the next slide here is what is XPath and what are all the different XPath nodes, and also what are all the different what is a root element node and what is a element node, and what is the relationship between these nodes, what is parent node and what is a child nodes, and ancestors, siblings and descendants. And this is the hierarchy for all this concept, that is child node, parent node, sibling, ancestor and descendants. And with the help of this xpathar.com, we can easily find all our xpaths. Okay, that is absolute xpath and relative xpath. Suppose if I want to directly get this value with the help of relative xpath, means then you no need to provide any root element, we can just provide double forward slash followed by the value that is called as title, you can get the value. If I mention here book, it will highlight you all the nodes. Okay, you can see there are 12 elements found. Okay, so because in real time scenarios, so where you will get the scenario to validate the XML means, so during that time we are going to parsing that XML into XPath. Okay, I will discuss about that in our upcoming video, how we can get the text from this XML file and how we can parse that into XPath and how we can retrieve the values for that particular nodes which are present inside that XML file. Okay, that's all it for now. I hope you people like this video, and also if you find this video helpful for you, please share this video to your friends or colleagues so that they will also learn something from this video, and also your share will helps this video to recommend for more people. Okay, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel Selenium Tech Automation. We will meet with our next video. Until then, take care everyone. Signing off. Have a nice day. Selenium Tech Automation. Bye guys.